Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally the winter season. With that, we do need warmth. Of course, we're gonna get a little cold, a little chilly. In fact, we might get this thing called goosebumps. Now, I'm sure that everyone here is very familiar with goosebumps, but did you know that a dead body can also accumulate goosebumps? That is what I'm gonna talk to you guys about today. In fact, I bring to you an article by Blair Hale written in December of 2016. Of this verse, Blair Hale explains that the body can seem to move and create goosebumps even after death. It's weird, isn't it? Usually, their bodies aren't living, so how can they seem to accumulate goosebumps? Well, the medical website of Health Hype by Chris Hansen of 2016 explains that cuticenaria can be that's called goosebumps. Cuticenaria is the involuntary contraction of the skin that pulls up hairs. So it's strange to think that bodies that are no longer living can somehow accumulate goosebumps. Let me explain to you the existence of these so-called cuticenaria and their purpose. Then I will explain why the dead experience subtle changes as such. Finally, I'll wrap it up with the importance of the afterlife. So let's start you off with goosebumps that are very quite familiar to everyone. Let me start you off with its explanation. Goosebumps occur involuntarily when the skin needs to preserve heat during cold states. Dr. Chris, from the article Abnormal Goosebumps, created in December 2020, states, Chris states that these are entirely involuntary and require us to be in cold areas or a mental state of processing. This was also written November 20, sorry. And that's why when we go out today without a jacket, our bumps seem to appear. Now that you know why we obtain goosebumps, let me explain the phenomenon with dead people. According to the Nader, under the title Dead Bodies Can Get Goosebumps Too, it highlights that due to the body decaying, it gives the illusion that the skin is having a cold reaction. This was written in April of 2019. Rigor mortis, it explains, is a part of the process of decomposition. When rigor mortis sets in, muscles will tense and become stiff, and the muscles holding onto the skin will also contract as well, giving the illusions of goosebumps. Now that I've given you an explanation of why bodies seem to show signs of life, let me explain to you finally the cycle of life. Nia Sharma, from the article Why Love is Important, written in January 6, 2015, states that the feeling and giving of love is in correlation with our biological structure. Maybe, as we decompose, our bodies are just recollecting all that love and emotion we once shared while living. And goosebumps can be the physical significance of living a good life. With that said, I come to my conclusion. Today, I gave you an explanation of the purpose of goosebumps. It is to enhance yourself and warm, to make you feel warm, just as if I was behind a fire. It traps it in by erecting hair skin cells that seem to attract, how would I explain it? That seem to prevent you from getting any colder. Rigor mortis is also a very good explanation of why these dead bodies seem to have the appearance of goosebumps. It's because they are going under decomposition, and that process involves the skin contracting, which raises up the skin cells. And I finally talked about how the importance of life is maybe within our decomposition process, and maybe a follow-up with goosebumps. How emotions and the afterlife can have a correlation of how you lived your life. With that said, I hope everyone has a very warmful day. Hopefully it's not too cold out there. We wouldn't want you to be freezing. And we shall see you guys another